everyone, and welcome to another edition of PwC Nigeria's monthly tax podcast series. In our last episode, we looked into the newly implemented withholding tax regulations, the FRS circular on the tax treatment of foreign exchange transaction, and the 2023 Finance Act Amendment Bill of windfall tax. Today, we'll be discussing a notable development in the Nigeria's tax landscape, the Advanced Pricing Agreement, which was issued by the FRS, something that our listeners may not be familiar with but would be interested in. Please don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, like and comment as well. My name is Mbielu, and I am thrilled to be joined by Tiwa Otufale. Tiwa is a transfer pricing partner at PwC Nigeria and the seasoned professional for everything related to tax and transfer pricing. Welcome to the show, Tiwa. It's good to have you join us today.
Thanks for having me, Miracle. Pleasure to be here.
The pleasure is all mine. Now, to start with, could you explain to us what the Advanced Pricing Agreement is all about and why it is significant for businesses that are operating in Nigeria?
Sure, of course. An Advanced Pricing Agreement is an arrangement between the taxpayer and the tax authority, and it sets the methodology of the intercompany transactions for a future period. So essentially, it helps both parties, in particular the taxpayer, by giving comfort around the transfer pricing treatment of transactions that will occur in the future. And this helps to avoid costly disputes between the taxpayer and the tax authority. There are a number of APAs available. There's the unilateral APA, where this is an agreement between the taxpayer and one tax authorities, but you also have situations where you have bilateral and multilateral APAs, where that is an agreement between several taxpayers and different tax authorities across different jurisdictions.
This is really interesting. So Tiwa, could you explain to us the impact of these APA guidelines on businesses in Nigeria, most especially the multinational corporations?
I think the impact will be significant for large multinationals that have significant intercompany transactions, because it provides some level of comfort around the treatment of those transactions. And this is particularly the case where those organizations are able to enter into bilateral or multilateral APAs, because what it then does is it eliminates double taxation.
Okay.
Another good thing is that when you enter into an APA, it also means that if you were to have a transfer pricing audit, the transactions that are under the APA will not be scrutinized. Only transactions that are outside of that APA will be essentially audited. This then means that you save time and resources during your transfer pricing audits.
So, this is really insightful. So, Tiwa, could you tell us or explain to us what the application processes are and who is eligible to apply?
The companies that will be eligible to apply for APAs are companies that have a presence in Nigeria,
Okay.
and they will have to have intercompany transactions in excess of $10 million for a single transaction or $50 million for a group of transactions. And to apply, there will be certain processes that they will also need to follow, and the tax authority has committed to finalizing such applications within 24 months for unilateral APAs and 36 months for bilateral and multilateral APAs.
Oh, this sounds good. So one more question, Tiwa. Given the circular that was issued by the FRS, in your own view, how has been the reception from taxpayers, and what are your concerns around the practicability and the relevance of the APA guidelines?
There have been mixed reactions. It's good news for large multinationals that have significant intercompany transactions in excess of $10 million. However, you do have the other side, where you have taxpayers that, by virtue of the threshold, have been excluded from being able to benefit from the APA. So, like I said, mixed reviews.
Okay, but it still sounds promising. So thank you so much, Tiwa, for joining us today, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in. We hope you found this conversation informative. So don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and like and comment as well. So Tiwa, do you have any final words to share to our listeners?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like I said, the introduction of the APAs is a welcome development. However, there are a few nuances that, we may not have discussed during the course of our conversation. So it's absolutely important that you go and check our website or contact us if you want to discuss this matter in further detail.
All right, so this will bring us to the end of our conversation. I'm your host, Mbielu, and this has been the PwC Tax Recap. Take care for now.